Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few really know what you are. You win or lose long before you speak. The first fortress is the face. Your expression is a map others try to read, a gate they test for weakness. If your eyes flash at every slight, you hand them the key. If your breathing quickens at every rumor, you gift them the road to your nerves. Composure is not decoration, it is armor. Silence is not absence, it is a wall that forces opponents to guess. When you control your timing, when you pause before you answer, when you measure your words, you deny them the script. You do not feed their story, you force them to deal with your terms. Think like an architect of appearances. A calm posture tells the room that noise will not extract concessions. A steady tone signals there is no path through panic. Even small choices, when to look, when to nod, when to end a meeting, become levers. You are training observers to understand that emotion will not open doors here. They can try charm, pressure, or spectacle. They will find the portcullis closed unless terms are fair. Your face is policy written in light, not coldness, control. Storms do not negotiate with sailors. Weather happens, moods rise, fall, and lie. You do not command the sky inside you, but you command the keel. The policy is simple. When the waters lift, you lower the center of gravity. Breathe slower than the moment. Delay replies until the tide levels. Draft. Do not send. Sleep. Then decide. Treat anger like wind, useful for motion, dangerous for steering. Treat euphoria like the sun, pleasant, blinding, not a compass. What carries you across is the keel, policy that locks your heading when every wave demands a turn. The world will call you distant. It will also learn you do not capsize. Look at the modern field. In a group chat, someone needles your pride, hoping to pull you into a performance. The trap is immediacy. The policy is delay. Answer tomorrow with proof of work or not at all. On a date, flattery tries to buy your boundary. The trap is drift. The policy is a clear line. Respect time, or access shrinks. At work, a colleague brings gossip wrapped in urgency. The trap is heat. The policy is scope. What is the decision? What is the evidence? What is the deadline? You keep the keel, and the storm passes without owing anyone a show. Then the room learns a lesson that serves you. There is no leverage in your temperature. Respect is not heat. It is predictable consequence. People do not honor your feelings. They honor the costs and rewards you control. If your anger is loud but toothless, it becomes music for opportunists. If your penalties are rare but precise, even your critics will calculate in your favor. Make outcomes legible. Publish the rule once, enforce it early, and return to normal life. Reward competence on time. Document breaches without drama. The point is not to frighten. The point is to make choices obvious before tempers rise. When results are tied to behavior, not to mood, people relax into discipline. They may not love you, but they will prefer the order you provide. This is cold psychology in service of peace. You do not stop feeling, you stop leaking. You do not stop caring. You choose where care becomes action. Your face remains still while your mind moves quickly. Your policy is the keel that keeps you upright when others capsize beneath the same wave. In a world that sells outrage as currency, you refuse the exchange rate. You trade only in outcomes, not performances. And because you are unmoved by spectacle, spectacle stops visiting. It is expensive to provoke you and profitable to cooperate with you. Hold the fortress of the face. Steer by policy, not by weather. Let others burn fuel on theatrics, while you conserve strength for decisive moments. When it is time, act once, clearly, and enough. The field belongs to the person who cannot be pushed by noise. Hold the face, hold the field. The mask. that charms also maps your weaknesses, and the stage lights belong to your enemies. You were taught to speak your truth as if volume equals virtue. Say it raw, say it now. But unfiltered emotion is not courage, it is disclosure. In politics and relationships, disclosure feeds the hungriest mouths, the rival who studies your tremors, the opportunist who fishes in your tears, the platform that sells your confession by the click. What you vent today becomes tomorrow's trap. Relief feels like freedom. It is only indexing. Study the theater of authenticity. The audience is not neutral. Some applaud because your show distracts them from their own work. Some collect your lines like fingerprints. You reveal the names that make you flinch, the phrases that buckle your spine, the deadlines that choke your breath. Later, those notes return as a key that opens you. A committee partner repeats the joke that once sent you spiraling. You go hot in the room, and hot minds sign bad deals. A campaign aide begs you to speak from the heart on camera. Your outburst gives opponents a clip that will outlive your explanation. Online, your rage thread wins cheers and enemies, and both will tug you on command. Analytical rule: emotion is intelligence. Intelligence must be gated. A serious leader edits. Say enough to move the board, not enough to be moved by it. Do not lie. Sequence: speak after you decide, not while you bleed. Treat anger as weather informative, not sovereign. Keep counsel, keep notes, keep time, then release a measured line that serves the outcome, not the audience's appetite. Be sincere without being searchable. Guard your tells like a card player guards the wrist. Now, warmth without teeth, kindness without limits is an invitation. Approval seeking becomes a leash you loop around your own neck and hand to the nearest handler. The leash is lined with compliments. You're so understanding. You're a team player. You're the calm one. Then comes the tug. So you won't mind if. When likability is your currency, anyone can hire you for cheap. Surgical rule: separate heart from handle. Keep the heart, remove the handle. Replace vague generosity with priced terms. At work, your manager praises your flexibility, so you specify scope, timeline, and credit in writing, and urgency next cycle costs options. In dating, someone jokes about your standards, so you restate the standard once and refuse to debate it. With family, you've become the emergency switch, so you define hours, budgets, and frequency, and the crisis curve flattens because it stops paying. People follow gradients of resistance. Where the wall is soft, they lean. Where the wall is stone, they walk around it and learn the path. Examples expose the gradient. You answer messages at midnight to look committed. A month later, midnight is the baseline. You drive every weekend, just this time. Soon, your gas tank is the plan. You laugh off a meeting that runs an hour long. Next week, the agenda grows teeth and your life shrinks. Teeth are not cruelty. Teeth are the visible edge that keeps love from turning into consumption. State rules calmly and early. I can help for 30 minutes on Thursday. If we reschedule twice, I pause the project. I don't lend money. I can offer options. When the line is crossed, act without heat. Reduce access. Change timelines. End the deal. The first clean no is kinder than the 10th resentful yes. Once consequences arrive on schedule, tests decline, and respect grows a spine. Now, face the comfort industry. A new catechism offers easy absolution. I was triggered. I didn't have the spoons. I was in my feels. Sometimes these are humane. Often they launder poor decisions, while opponents build position in the dark. They set deadlines. You process. They call counsel. You post. They structure terms. You emote. By the time calm returns, the contract is locked, and the cost is yours. Realist rule: trade self-soothing for clear trade-offs. Before you declare a state, define the price. If you blow the timeline, what will you cut to pay for it? If you cancel the meeting for wellness, what outcome will land in its place? If you snap at your team, what restitution will you offer, and by when? Make the ledger visible. Compassion is not the absence of cost. Compassion is the honest accounting of it. The world is cold to excuses, but honors repair that arrives on time. See how emotions are weaponized. In a city hearing, a developer reframes your critique as hostility to growth, and you waste minutes defending tone instead of the clause that moves millions. Online, an influencer quotes your nuance as cruelty, tagging your employer. You rush to apologize for a meaning you never held, and the correction doubles their reach. In private, a partner learns the word abandonment, freezes you. It appears whenever boundaries rise. The tactic is simple. Shift the field from terms to feelings, because people will surrender terms to rescue feelings. Protocols beat puppeteers. When you're hot, switch channels. From DM to email, from hallway to agenda, from feed to document, anchor to nouns and numbers, dates, deliverables, deposits, consequences. Pre-commit with your team. No responses after 9, no decisions within 24 hours of public attacks, no scope changes without written trade-offs. Build a reflex. When language tilts toward therapy, steer back to terms. Noted. Here is the schedule and the cost. Over time, dramatists stop choosing you. The show prefers easier stages. This is not an argument against feeling. It is an argument against being piloted. You want a full heart, pointed like a spear. You want kindness that protects its core. You want speech that lands outcomes, not applause. Keep a private room for raw weather, a journal, a friend, a therapist, silence. Outside that room, act like a builder. Hold information until it is shaped. Deliver boundaries without heat. Price your help and mean your price. When you break a rule, repair it publicly and precisely. When you forgive, set conditions that prevent the return of the same wound. Strip the myths. Authenticity is not exhibition. Leadership is not venting. Care is not capitulation. The world will take whatever you signal you do not guard. Guard your tells, guard your time, guard the quiet where your judgment grows teeth. Then step out and move the board with fewer words and firmer hands. Warm heart, sharp terms, closed playbook. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. You live with a cabinet behind your face. They hold no elections, yet they govern your every crisis. For years they worked as bodyguards. One protected you from rejection, one from humiliation, one from the ache of not enough. Now they act like ministers, drafting laws in the heat of adrenaline. You think you are deciding. In truth, orders arrive from old rooms, a flat tone from a supervisor, and the minister of disrespect bangs the table, wins status back quickly. A delayed reply from someone you love, and the minister of abandonment orders you to chase, to fill the silence with explanations. Study them with forensic empathy, not contempt. Each minister was born in a storm. Maybe you learned that silence kept the house calm, so now you make your needs invisible before anyone can call them selfish. Maybe moving every year taught you that belonging is fragile, so you manage impressions like a diplomat in hostile territory. These strategies were intelligent when you were small and outnumbered, but when the past governs the present without oversight, intelligence becomes inertia. You allow weak decisions to pass as peace, then wonder why the price rises later. Map the inner power structure. The minister of status watches every room like a hawk, counting titles, blue check marks, and seats at the table. The Minister of Security hoards not just money but favors, apologies, and owed kindness, anything that might be cashed in if winter comes. The Minister of Face insists you look unbothered even when your stomach is tied. In crisis, they whisper through breath and muscle, agree now, correct later, smile now, feel later, give now, collect never. They are not evil, they are outdated. But until you know who is talking, you cannot choose who to answer. Watch how virtues can hide motives. You say, I'm just honest, and you are when hurt. You swing truth like a hammer because anger offers the illusion of height. That is not candor. That is a flare shot into the night to call your tribe. You say, I'm generous, and you are when afraid. You give your time beyond all agreements, trying to purchase safety with sacrifice. That is not kindness. That is conflict avoidance playing dress-up. You say, I'm loyal, and you are far past the expiration of trust. You stay to prove you are not the kind of person who leaves. Meanwhile, you are the one being left. The world rewards these costumes. Managers love team players who never invoice the extra hour. Audiences love authenticity when it entertains their outrage. Circles love ride or die when your ride is to their destination. Applause is a sweet-smelling smoke. It blurs the smell of something burning. After the clapping fades, you are left with a quieter ledger. Promises broken to yourself, standards bent until they creak, and a self you do not quite trust at the edge of a hard moment. Separate virtue from anesthesia, or you will medicate your life and call it moral. Test your motives with a simple probe. If I were calm and unafraid, would I do this? Put the sentence beside your next brave email, your next late night yes, your next angry paragraph you call telling it like it is. If fear is steering, it will confess under that light. Not to shame you so, you can stop outsourcing your halo to a wound. Bring mirror to edict, begin with naming. For 1 week, run surveillance with compassion. Every time your body spikes, jaw tightens, breath goes shallow, heat rises, pause and write 3 lines. Trigger, story, order. Trigger. He interrupted me mid-sentence. Story. They don't respect me. Order. Prove your worth fast or retreat. Naming converts fog to furniture. You can move around furniture. You can only drown in fog. Define your triggers as if you were training a team. Raised voices within 5 feet. Last-minute requests framed as quick favors. Sarcasm aimed at your work. Ambiguous texts from significant people. Precision allows prevention. Then, pre-write responses your calmer self trusts. Cooling windows are your fire doors. 10 breaths, a glass of water, a 20-minute walk, or a sleep cycle. No emails, agreements, or price cuts during a spike. External counsel is your oversight committee. One person who tests for compulsion, not a crowd that echoes your fear. Written standards are your constitution. Make them plain. How you speak under stress. When you are reachable. What happens after a boundary is crossed. Practice your scripts in low stakes. In a group chat where you used to swallow it, send, "Keep me out of that joke." When a client says, "Can we squeeze in this one thing?" reply, "Happy to help. Here's the revised fee and timeline." When your manager pings at midnight, schedule your reply for morning with, "Got it handled during hours." When a date tests your limits with a disappearing act, respond, "I'm available for consistency." If that's not your pace, no hard feelings. Calm, warm, unbending, you are practicing custody of your choices. Expect backlash. Systems stabilize around your compliance. They will shake when you stop subsidizing them. Some people will tell you you've changed. They are right. You are replacing reflex with rule. Inside, cabinet will predict catastrophe. You will be fired, dumped, exiled. Let the experiment run long enough to gather counter-evidence. Notice who respects the new border and who only loved the gate left open. Individuation is not exile from the tribe. It is the end of bargaining your soul for a seat. As your policies hold, something elegant happens. Anger becomes information instead of a weapon. Generosity becomes investment instead of insurance. Loyalty becomes selectivity instead of fear. The ministers are not executed, they are rehired as advisors. Rejection warns of real misalignment without flooding your nervous system. The memory of humiliation teaches preparation without running public relations for your ego. Scarcity sharpens focus without convincing you that worth is a race you can lose. You begin to tell the difference between urgency and importance, between being driven and being led. Remember, the unconscious does not vanish because you looked at it. It cooperates because you gave it work to do. Ritualize the review. Every Friday, audit one decision you regretted and one you are proud of. Ask, which minister tried to rule? Which law I wrote helped? Which clause was missing? Adjust the policy. This is how people become trustworthy to themselves, not through inspiration, but through governance. You are not trying to be fearless. You are trying to be led by something larger than fear. Call it self, call it center, call it the witness that can love your ministers without surrendering the throne. When that one rules, your voice steadies, your time meets a price. Your boundaries teach as loudly as your words. Others feel it before you announce it. They negotiate with your reality, not your insecurity. The wound can still speak. It simply cannot write the law. I see the ministers, keep the law, and hold my seat. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you are. You are learning the hard lesson of visibility. When you are touchable, crowd takes the liberty to touch. Your voice note leaks. Your DM is screenshot. A single public outburst born from missed meals and stacked provocations rebrands you as unstable. Overnight, a long record of steady work is reduced to a clip with captions. Allies hedge, neutrals drift to the safest bench, rivals recruit with the confidence of vultures circling a stumble. Volatility becomes the brand when the heat of a moment hardens into policy against you. At work, you snap in a meeting after weeks of being talked over. 10 seconds of raised tone are extracted, shared, and judged without context. HR calls it a concern. A client calls it a pattern. You know it is a rupture, not a rule, but appearances buy votes and appearances now sit on the throne. In love, a fight spills into stories, cryptic lyrics, late comments, mutuals choosing angles. Screenshots travel faster than explanations. The cascade is traceable. First, the outburst. Then, the council of cowards, people who praise you in private and go silent in public. Next, the opportunists. They need not be better than you, only calmer than you. They whisper about stability. They float a petition to revisit leadership, draft a memo about fit for the next phase, gather neutrals with promises of quiet. None of this requires hatred. It requires only a screenshot that feels like a forecast. In a world ruled by optics, storms outvote seasons. You tried to stay soft. Mercy looked like your best bet. But mercy, rage, repeat becomes the cycle that poisons trust faster than open malice. Case 1. A direct report misses deadlines. You cover, extend, and coach. On the third miss, a client is lost. You swing to punitive public reprimand, frozen perks, a sudden policy memo stamped with your name. The team does not remember your fairness. They remember the pendulum. Inconsistency converts respect into surveillance. People stop trusting your word and start studying your weather. Case 2. A partner hides a small expense. You choose understanding, hoping honesty will repay the debt. It does not. The numbers grow. Your temper detonates. Shared accounts closed, accusations forwarded, relatives enlisted as witnesses. The bond is not destroyed by money, it is destroyed by spectacle. Predictability would have been cheaper. A clear boundary after the first offense, with a measured consequence and a dated review. Severity, applied early and cleanly, is less cruel than kindness that mutates into vendetta. Case 3. Your own habits. You miss 4 mornings at the gym and grant yourself leniency because discipline needs compassion. Then, ashamed, you overcorrect 2 a days. A Spartan diet, loud declarations about a new era. Your body burns out. You quit. You teach your nervous system that rules are theater. You would choose a strict but steady ruler over a merciful tyrant. Your psyche is no different. It believes the pattern you keep at the same hour, not the sermon you deliver at midnight. Screenshots weaponize the gap between appearance and intent. A clipped message erases context and installs a caricature in your place. This is not fair, it is normal. Understand the field. In the prince's game, you must govern not only action but timing and framing. If you must deliver sharp words, do it privately and briefly, with a paper trail of prior clarity. If you must show mercy, bind it to conditions and dates. Strategy is not cold, it is protective. It keeps your humanity from being turned into ammunition. Then comes the private ruin with a public bill. Sleep deserts you. 3 a.m. becomes your new office. You rehearse speeches for audiences that will never hear them. Your calendar tilts into apology tours. Breakfast with a teammate to smooth the blow. Lunch with a client to assure them you are focused. Late-night calls with your partner to decode silence. You announce reactive policies to quiet noise, new channels, new protocols, new oversight, each one a monument to yesterday's fire. The empire pays for the ruler's moods. Budgets swell with waste, freelance damage control, hurried rebrands, consultants selling stability you could have had for free. You buy tools instead of building rhythm. You reward firemen for fires that clarity would have prevented. In finance, churn fees and tax mistakes become your private levy for public chaos. In love, gifts replace repairs, and repairs never happen. At work, staff learn to manage you, not the mission. They time proposals to your weather, not to the work. The cost is intimate: jaw tightness, stomach knots, a chest that feels like a speech you cannot finish. You refresh threads for battles already fought. You search your own name. You keep drafts of statements that will never be posted. Meanwhile, real work starves. Decisions are delayed or made in adrenaline. You claim high standards as the reason, but beneath that banner is fear of another screenshot. You are governing by risk avoidance rather than strategy, and the city can smell it. There is a cure, and it is Machiavellian in the cleanest sense. Govern the appearance by governing the schedule. Build a cadence that turns your temperature into background noise. Fix times for decisions. Fixed windows for replies. Pre-committed consequences delivered without theater. If a line is crossed, act within 24 hours with measured language and documented steps. If mercy is granted, state the condition and the date of review. Public predictability disarms private rumor. People do not need you mild, they need you legible. Control the frame. When you err, and you will own it briefly, specify the repair, and return to cadence. Do not litigate your soul online. Do not emote in markets where enemies shop for material. Practice the discipline of the unsent message. Keep counsel with 2 or 3 who care about outcomes over drama. Let your ledger, your delivery dates, your clean budget speak longer than any thread. Over weeks, the brand of volatility gives way to the brand of rhythm. Allies return because they can plan. Neutrals stop drifting. Rivals run out of recruits. Stability does not mean you stop feeling. It means you stop exporting your feelings as policy. You still forgive, but you attach terms. You still correct, but you do it once, on time, in writing. You still speak with heat, but never in open channels you do not control. You grow difficult to miscast because your behaviors rhyme. Predictability beats passion in the long game because it compounds. Passion burns headlines. Predictability builds institutions. Your identity gathers itself. You become touchable without being throwable. Screenshots lose heat against the cool steel of consistent action. Work steadies because meetings no longer serve as therapy. Love steadies because boundaries arrive early and quietly. Money steadies because budgets answer to rules, not moods. The city stabilizes because the ruler stabilized first. Power is not a louder microphone. Power is cadence that survives weather. Predictable beats, passionate, rhythm over rage. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. You thought they cared because they smiled when you walked in, because your number was always answered, because your favors were received like gifts from a generous sky. But the ledger underneath was simple. You were useful. Utility wears perfume and calls itself love. When stakes are low, everyone is sweet. When stakes rise, sweetness recedes and calculation steps forward. Read this without bitterness, with clear eyes. Most praise is payment for present service. Affection versus advantage tell them apart. Affection enjoys you, advantage employs you. Affection laughs at your jokes, advantage laughs to keep the discount. Watch what happens when you change the terms. Say no to the extra shift that is not yours. Raise your price. Set a boundary around your weekend. Suddenly the warm wind cools. The colleague who called you family grows distant. The old friend who adored your flexibility accuses you of being selfish. Nothing sacred was shattered. An equation was updated. Let this free you from sentimental misreads. People recalculate when risk enters the room. That is not cruelty, it is nature. So you must calculate too. Ask the clean questions. What do they gain from my yes? What do I gain that is worthy? What changes when I decline? If a relationship collapses at the first clear no, you are holding scaffolding, not a house. Real care survives the loss of convenience. It may shrink, but it remains. That remainder is your measure. Trust is not softness. Trust is forecastable response under stress. People feel safe with you when your reactions can be known before the moment arrives. Not because you are endlessly forgiving, but because you are consistent. If you smile on Monday and explode on Friday for the same offense, you are fog. In fog, drivers crash. You owe the people around you a weather report they can rely on. Stability is the gift you give when you master your impulses and answer offense with the consequence you promised in calm. Design your responses before the incident. Write small laws. Keep them visible. If someone mocks you in public, you address it once, in the same light, and you end the permission immediately. If a client pays late, service pauses until the balance clears. If a partner lies about a material thing, intimacy retracts, and repairs are measured in actions, not speeches. You do not argue for hours. You move resources. This is cold psychology, steady application of rules announced in peace, enforced without theater. Practice this in small storms, so big weather does not destroy you. When your anger surges, delay the message. Drink water, breathe, sleep. When panic wants to buy peace with a cheap yes, buy time instead. I'll confirm tomorrow. You are building a forecast others can plan around. The dependable will draw closer because your steadiness lowers their anxiety. The opportunists will complain because fog was their tool. Let their protests mark your progress. Kindness after order. Mercy before structure is indulgence. It rescues today and ruins tomorrow. Make standards non-negotiable first. then decide where to bend. This turns compassion into a choice, not a leak. A sibling misses repayment and brings a story. The old you waived the fee and funded the sequel. The governed you applies the fee, pauses new loans, and, after consistent change, waives a single charge as signal, not weakness, signal. In that frame, your kindness instructs. Outside it, your kindness invites the same wound. Carry this into work. A teammate chronically arrives late and dazzles with charm. You like them, so you excuse it, and morale rots. Reverse it. Document the expectation. Enforce it once without shame, and then, only then, grant a one-time grace after improvement. The team feels justice. The individual feels dignity. Compassion becomes strategic. It strengthens the system while helping the person. That is the kind of mercy people remember. In love, the same law holds. You cannot hand your heart to chaos and blame destiny for the bruises. Order your boundaries, what intimacy requires, what honesty means, what happens after breach. Speak the terms when the sky is clear. Then, if the line is crossed, you do not invent a new philosophy, because you are flooded with longing. You enact the policy you chose when you were sane. If change begins, mercy can follow like sunlight after a storm. If change stalls, distance is not cruelty, it is hygiene. Reframe, they care about me as I am currently useful. That sentence stings, then it saves. It stops you from trading years for applause. It keeps you from calling a subsidy a soulmate. When you sort affection from advantage, you see who stays when benefits cool. When your reactions become predictable, the stable can breathe. When your standards are firm, your kindness becomes gold, not water through a cracked jar. Cold psychology is not heartless. It is a structure that protects both sides from chaos. Clarity before kindness. Steel before storm. Govern your feelings, or your feelings will govern you. You want virtue you can carry into any room. Start with the pause protocol. Pause, plan, act. It is a small triangle that saves empires of time. Install strict gates, minutes for texts, hours for deals, days for treaties. When a message stings, wait 24 minutes, long enough for heat to cool, short enough to keep momentum. Stand up, drink water, change rooms, then plan. Open your decision tree, written when you were calm. Ask, is this disrespect or clumsy tone? Is the deadline real or performative? What result do you seek? Compliance, clarity, or clean exit? Finally, act in writing first. 3 lines. State the standard, state the impact, state the next step. Writing forces aim. Speech follows the path you just cut. Scale the gate with the stakes. For a deal, pause hours. Ask for numbers, not adjectives. Request the draft, not the promise. Read contracts aloud. Sound exposes trapdoors the eye forgives. For a treaty, anything that binds money, reputation, or family, pause days. Sleep twice. Seek disconfirming evidence. What happens if you do nothing? What breaks if the other party breaks faith? Delay is not weakness, it is aim. The fox moves after seeing the trap. The lion moves once to end the chase. Next, write signals and sanctions. Power without legibility becomes noise. Define rules for disrespect, delay, and deviation, so no one can plead confusion when the invoice arrives. Disrespect includes raised voices, public ridicule, and private insults disguised as jokes. Delay is missing start times, approvals drifting beyond agreed windows, and replies that wander off the path. Deviation means unauthorized scope, unpriced quick favors, and leaks of what should stay. Sealed. Put them on one page. Announce penalties and rewards in the same breath, visible, proportionate, and finite. Reliability earns autonomy. Discretion earns access. Breaches meet consequences matched to the weight of the harm. Enforce early, proportionately, then stop. The world learns from costs, not size. A designer blows a deadline. Move the task, downgrade their lane, this sprint, and log the reason in neutral language. A friend needles you in front of others. Say once, "That line is closed," and change the subject. If it repeats, you leave early and follow up privately. A contractor breaks confidentiality. Terminate that day, document the clause, and collect assets. No scenes, no sarcasm. Deterrence with low drama makes compliance the cheapest choice. Now remove improvisation under heat, rehearsed lines, not raw nerves. Scripts are shields. Prepare responses for recurring provocations and memorize them until they feel like muscle. When someone rushes you, "I'll respond tomorrow after review." When a client expands scope, we follow scope. I can quote additions. When a gossip hunts an opinion, I don't discuss people who aren't here. When a joker pokes at your boundary, this line is closed. When a manager demands instant answers, I'll send a written summary by 3 p.m. Each line is a corridor that leads out of the fire. Practice your lines in calm so they arrive intact in storm. Record yourself. Strip filler words, apologies, and nervous laughs. Keep the scripts in a note you review weekly. Acting schools call it blocking. Statesmen call it preparation. Scripts prevent duels and prevent over-promising, the cousin of panic. Under heat, you want to say yes. Your script says, "I will check and confirm." Under provocation, you want to explain. Your script says, "I've decided." This is not coldness, it is conservation of authority. Appearance management is your visible constitution. Men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand. So let the eye see order. Control voice, lower and slower under pressure. Control tempo, halve your speed when baited. Accelerate only when a window is closing. Control posture, shoulders level, chin neutral, feet planted. Never argue in public. Public arguments are auctions where dignity sells to the loudest bidder. Never text in anger. Angry texts are sworn statements for your enemies. Document actions, not emotions. Received 9:2, actioned 9:30. Next step 3. The record becomes your armor. Screens amplify disorder. Your cadence cancels it. A supervisor rants on a call. You breathe, take notes, and send a 2-paragraph recap with decisions and deadlines copied to stakeholders. Their thunder becomes weather. Your memo becomes ground. A partner posts a heated accusation. You do not reply in the feed. You screenshot, file, and propose a time to talk. Then you log the outcome in clean language. A teammate makes a barbed joke in a meeting. You say, "We'll stay on the agenda," and continue. Afterward you write, "Today's remark crossed our standard. Next time, hold it." Calm inevitability is the most persuasive tone on earth. Strategic mercy and exits keep power humane and durable. Offer one-time forgiveness with terms, restitution, boundary, and clock. A junior analyst confesses an error early. You forgive once, assign the fix, pair them with a mentor, and set a 30-day accuracy review. Both sign. Provide honorable off-ramps so failure does not mutate into sabotage. If a vendor cannot meet the bar, end the engagement cleanly with partial payment for accepted work and a neutral reference for what they did well. You lose a week. You keep your reputation. Reward quiet compliance publicly. Praise punctuality, clean handoffs, truthful updates. Small, visible rewards, choice projects, budget control. First pick on time off, teach the room how to win with you. Mercy without structure is sentiment. Sanction without mercy is brittle. Your balance is leverage. State what was broken, what was repaired, and what happens next time. Then close the file. Do not retry a forgiven case every time you are tired. Nothing drains loyalty like eternal probation. You want order that breathes, a place where courage is safe and discipline predictable. Finally, build institutional memory. Keep a simple ledger: date, incident, response, result, lesson. 2 minutes per entry, or you will not do it. Review quarterly. What worked? Keep it. What failed? Change it. Did the minutes gate prevent errors? Good. Did the hours gate let rumors spread? Add a holding statement rule. Acknowledge receipt within 1 hour. Promise full reply by end of day. Did a penalty run too long and sour morale? Shorten the term and raise clarity at the start. Patterns become doctrine. Doctrine frees attention for real battles. Memory protects the innocent and corrects the careless. When a repeat offender claims confusion, the log ends the play. When a redeemed teammate rises, the log shows growth and earns them trust without debate. Over time, your constitution becomes portable, the same triangle of pause, plan, act, the same one-page map of rules and rewards, the same scripts, the same visible cadence, the same ledger. Others will call you unflappable. You will know the truth. You are governed. Begin tonight. Draft your decision tree while calm. Write your standards on 1 page and pin them where partners and teams can see them. Practice 3 lines until they arrive whole under heat. Choose 1 ritual that telegraphs composure, a 5-second breath before you answer, a summary after you decide. Open a logbook. Fill 3 entries from memory so momentum starts. Feel the quiet arrive. You are not colder, you are clearer. You let emotions advise, never rule. In that order, people will either align or exit. Both are victories. I pause, plan, act, and my feelings serve, not reign. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Niccolo Machiavelli. You do not audition for peace, you enforce it. Emotional untouchability is not ice, it is policy. You decide your terms before the world arrives with its demands. When your inner court is orderly, outside players change their behavior. They sense the boundary, see the consequences, and choose cooperation over noise. This is sober optimism, not hope that people will improve, but confidence that clarity will shape them. Order as compassion. Fewer fires, fewer apologies, cleaner alliances, because your feelings no longer run the city. You still feel the spark. You do not swing the torch. A co-worker drops a sharp comment in a meeting. You park it, finish your point, then address it privately with 1 rule. Critique the work, not the person. The temperature falls. The project breathes. At home, the old bait returns, sarcasm wrapped as humor. You decline the game. Different topic. No explosion. No lecture. A small gate closes on cue, and the week keeps its shape. You reconcile firmness with care by separating emotion from action. Feel everything. Authorize little. You keep a simple protocol. Breathe, name, choose. Breathe once. Name the feeling, anger, shame, fear. Choose the smallest useful move, clarify, schedule, or walk away. This turns arguments into decisions, and decisions into agreements. The result is quiet momentum, fewer spin-outs, more work shipped, and evenings that actually rest. Mercy is in the structure, and structure is what lets love last. Reputation as shield. A known calm deters tests. Your name buys time and better terms. People test where drama pays. They respect where drama starves. Online, trolls skip your page because you furnish no oxygen. At work, clients stop pushing for last-minute discounts when they learn the slope of your no is firm but fair. Change the scope, change the price. Friends invite you earlier because you answer quickly and keep commitments. Your reputation becomes a lighthouse, predictable, visible, and constant. People can forecast your stance, so they adjust themselves instead of trying to move you. This shield hardens by practice, not slogans. You prime your responses like tools in a kit. I'll revisit this tomorrow. Let's stick to the agenda. Happy to help within these hours. You document agreements so memory cannot rewrite the past. You praise in public and correct in private, so egos stay intact while standards rise. You make escalation costly, slow, formal, never theatrical. And you make clarity cheap fast, written, available to all. Soon the tests thin out, not because people became saints, but because incentives changed. Chaos earns nothing here. Clarity pays every time. The quiet crown. Storms keep coming, but your seawall stands. Imagine a week where mornings are boring in the best way. No dread scroll. Coffee, plan, first task. Messages wait for their slot because you kept office hours and a spine. A surprise demand arrives Friday at 6 p.m. You move it to Monday because your calendar is a gate, not a net. At home, conflict shifts from ambush to architecture, one problem at a time. One solution agreed, one deadline met. The room feels larger, not because circumstances shrank, but because your boundaries created airspace where trust can stand upright. This is not fantasy, it is engineering. You are arranging incentives. You reward early signals. You ignore bait. You enforce consequences without drama. You model steadiness until it becomes the local weather. The sea remains the sea, but you choose timing, terms, and tone. Your peace becomes a condition others prepare for. They arrive ready, or they turn away. Either way, the harbor stays open to ships that mean business. You do not chase harmony, you construct it. You do not beg for respect, you specify it. Emotional untouchability reduces conflict, hardens reputation, and invites cooperation because people can predict you. Strength, rightly used, protects more than it harms. Peace is the dividend of order, paid out daily in time, trust, and clean alliances. Calm first, terms clear, peace secured.